Okay, so here we have a brief description of how to transplant your plants. What I would say is when you buy transplants, or in case you have like the little 6 packs or the 4 inchers, you will get a plant that has a nice long central shaft and then the leaves on the top end. One thing people do when they transplant is they often transplant so that they will have too much of the main primary stalk showing. You actually want to bury most of that visible stalk so that it becomes roots. So that as long as you give the leaves adequate space on top of the soil, you can bury and submerge the rest of that plant and it will turn into roots. So up top, I've illustrated a concept of loosening the soil, and double digging is also a common term. Basically, I like forking. So, forking the soil to loosen it like a salad, you lift and you loosen the roots and the larger particulate matter, breaking apart any clumps. And then you remove a plug of soil so that when you plant, you will go ahead and plant into that plug and then create a mound and then another ring so that when you plant, you have your plant here, but on either side you have a raised mound so that it collects water for a little bit here, and then another depression and another ring, a concentric ring. So when seen top down, it looks like that. Okay, so that was the introduction to how to transplant seedlings. Let's see, the next thing to talk about is you can actually, hang on one second. Okay, so the next thing to talk about is how you will need to look at the moon and the moon cycles. So if you're at the full moon, it's a good time to plant because it's a good time to transplant because that means that you can take the gravity of the moon is going back down into the ground from the full moon cycle back to the new moon cycle. Those 2 weeks are when the water is encouraging the roots to develop downwards. When you look at your seeds, they say short germinating, medium, or long germinating. That just has to do with when do you plant your seed. If it's a short germinating seed, you plant it on the full moon. If it's a long germinating seed, you plant it on the new moon. And then the seed case swells for a week or two, and then it breaks forth and it goes ahead and does the root development. So if you plant in the cycle of the moon, you can get better results.